Yenni went shopping and spent $60 on a table. She used three-quarter of her remaining money to buy a chair. She was then left with one-fifth of her initial amount of money. How much money did she have at first? Okay, so as we can see here, this time we have two fractions. It's a bit different from concept one. Concept one, only one fraction is provided, but this time we have two fractions provided. Okay, so if we look carefully at this word again, of her remaining. So when you see the word of the remaining, remember usually you have to use a model to solve the question. All right. You cannot tell me say, let's make denominators the same. That is wrong because the denominators are referring to two different things. Okay. Maybe let's study through what is the significance of the numerators and denominators first. Okay. So she used three-quarter of her remaining money to buy a chair. So of course, the 3 units here refers to the spending on the chair. And what about the 4 units here? Okay, the 4 units here will be referring to the remainder money, not the total money. Okay, now what about this 1 and 5? All right, she was then left with one-fifth of her initial amount of money. Okay, so your 1 here, she was then left with 1 out of 5. So that means the 1 here is the leftover. Now, and the 5 here, left with one-fifth of her initial amount of money. The word initial means the original. So your 5 units here have to be referring to this original amount of money. So the original total. Okay, so as we can see, the denominators both refer to two different things. This is remaining money, this is total. Hence, that's why we cannot make the denominators the same. Okay, so let's proceed to draw the model as like what we will usually do for a remainder theory question. Okay, so I start off with $60. Okay, so I should start off with total first, all right? We draw the whole total money that she has at the beginning. And whatever $60 that she has spent on the table, you're going to park it aside. Okay, so $60 spent on a table. Now, if you read on, the next thing is to identify your remainder first. Okay, so remainder, of course, is the remaining part here. And let's proceed to redraw the remainder layer, like what we did usually. Okay, and this remainder layer, now I can cut it into 4 parts as what I've observed here. And out of these 4 parts, 3 parts is used for the chair. Okay, and of course, whatever here you see left is, of course, your leftover money. Okay, now if you read back your question, she was then left with one-fifth of her initial amount of money. Okay, so in this case, what we understand from the fraction here is that the 1 unit from the fraction refers to the left. Now, and we also have the left on the model. And we also see a 1 unit left on the model, which tallies with what we needed. Okay, so this left and this is exactly what we need to make the same. Okay, we need to ensure the left in the fraction and the left in the model shows the same number of units. And luckily, in this case, they are already showing the same. You see 1U and 1U. All right, so if they are not showing the same, please go and convert to the same number of units. Okay, if let's say, for example, here is 2, then you gotta write this as 2 units. You gotta treat this as 2 units. And each of this is 2 units. If let's say this is like it show 2 units here, let's say it's already cut as 2 units is left, then here you got to change it to times 2, change it to 2 units here also. All right, so the whole idea is to make sure that the left here and the left on the model are the same number of units because they're both referring to the same leftover. Okay, which in this case, we're very lucky already, right? One-fifth of the initial amount of money. So the 1 unit here really represents the 1 unit there. Okay, so we can safely say that this will be 1U, 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 1U. Then, of course, your remainder here will be 4 units. Okay, so left, in this case, if I rewrite it down from my fraction, one-fifth of the total. T here means one-fifth of the total. Okay, So total will be then 5 units because from your denominator here. So now once you know that, okay, this 1 U left and 1 U left is already the same, they are already the same, means you can safely rely on this denominator to treat this as your total units. Okay, which in this case will be 5 units. All right, so what it means is that now here to here, this is 5U. Okay, and my remainder, as I can see, is 4 units. Okay, so like I said, this 5 is from here, remainder is 4 units. So now, once you have established your units out, go and work with the usable value. Usable value meaning to say your $60. How many units represent $60? Okay, so your 5U minus away the 4U, remaining 1U will be your $60. Okay, so 1U is $60. How much money did she have at first? So you want at first. At first meaning to say your total of 5 units. So you just need to find 5 units and there you go.